All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night. This is the last time we'll go live this week for the MedSLP Collective open enrollment this week that we've got going on. So we do open enrollment just a few times a year. Open enrollment ends tomorrow. We've got lots and lots of bonuses for those of you that want to come in and join us, which I'm very excited about. So this year we made a big pivot to a lot more active learning inside of the collective. So we, for years and years, just did, I don't want to say just did, but we did, PDF resources that were a few pages. We did some longer webinars, but we really decided to pivot this year to do something that is a lot more active. And a lot of it stemmed from, I'm in the final stages of finishing up my PhD and just learning a lot more about adult education, adult medical education. How do people that work in the medical field, how do they learn best outside of their normal work environment? So that's really why we put this active learning piece in. So each month we have a few different features that you get. We have our demo and discuss feature, which is we bring somebody on to talk about a new therapy technique or a new technology and just really actually show you how to do the thing. And then you can discuss it, talk about it. We also have implementation hour, which is where you get to learn how to do something and modify it to your facility or to your patient population. So something like, report writing, we bring somebody in to, help you. How can you change your report? How can you make it better? What kind of improvements can you do, and get actual feedback in real time on that? And then we also have our clinical confidence hour. This stemmed from, we have members that, wanted to, we have a really robust Facebook group that has incredible mentors that answer tons and tons of questions. Sometimes you just don't want things broadcasted, right? So we have our clinical confidence hour where anyone can come in and just ask questions, and it is not recorded. So you get feedback from a mentor, but it is not recorded. And then we also have our new clinical simulations that we added to the mix, which I'm really proud of. They are actual simulations that are real patient case studies that wonderful people behind the scenes here at the collective have created. So we created the story, and then you can just walk through and answer the critical thinking questions. And, if you get it wrong, you can redo it. You can see the clinical reasoning behind it. So those are all of the features inside of the collective, which is $34 a month or $349 a year. We also have student rate for $19 a month. The student rate, you still get everything included. You just don't get CEUs for things because you don't need them. And then last but not least is our Facebook group. And we've tried to go on different different platforms, but Facebook just seems to be the place that everyone wants to be. And we have a team of mentors that are absolutely incredible, very knowledgeable in all areas of medical SLP. A lot of them cover multiple areas like voice and dysphagia or aphasia, cognitive communication. We have some that go across the lifespan. So yeah, we have an incredible team of mentors, and I'm going to bring some of them on tonight to chat with you. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to type them in the comments. But without further ado, I will bring Anna Marie on first. Hello, my
Hey,
friend.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
All right. So tell the people a little bit about yourself and just your experience working with the collective.
Okay, my name is Anna Marie. I'm a speech language pathologist currently in acute care. I've done a little bit in private outpatient setting, specializing in voice and swallowing. My areas of expertise are voice and swallowing with a little bit of fees and a little bit of stroboscopy and a little bit of other areas. Those tend to be my favorites. I joined the collective, I think earlier this year, and I've really been enjoying it. I've been enjoying hearing what people's questions are and seeing that it's really comforting to see that everybody still has questions no matter where they are in their career, because I always still have questions, and I've actually learned a lot from some of the questions that other people have asked. So I found that to be really useful. And I do find that there tends to be a really positive sense of community and support in the group that I like, because sometimes in other groups that you might see, other people are maybe talking down to one another or just not being as positive and supportive as we can be in an environment where we're all supposed to be continuously learning. So I appreciate that aspect of it a lot.
Yeah, awesome. Can you share maybe if there was a specific case or a specific member that came and asked a question that really stuck out to you, or just a really positive experience that you've had?
I thinking back, there were a couple of really good ones recently. I think there was a voice one recently about muscle tension dysphonia, and I remember the member being very much so on the right track. Like they were doing everything textbook wise that you could think of, and they were stuck. I mean, the progress was halted. They didn't know what to do. There were some other barriers involved, and we were able to kind of work together from an experience level of what are some things that some of us mentors or other people in the group have tried, and it's still evidence based, but maybe we haven't thought in applying it in that way. So we were able to come up with something that they found the patient to be really receptive to, and it helped progress the therapy forward rather than halt and stop and have to give up at that point because we plateaued. So that was a pretty good recent success, I think.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. I was actually talking about that earlier today on a different live, is that, the things I love about so much about the mentors is that there's obviously we have the research, right? We think of the whole evidence-based triangle, right? There's obviously the research, and then our mentors just have so much robust experience in things. And what I really love sometimes is, yes, we do know the research, but also sometimes this just may not apply in this specific scenario. So how can you use
Exactly.
really, deductive reasoning, critical thinking to say, okay,
Mhm.
this is what we should do, but in reality, this is not possible. So how can
Yeah.
we adapt or change? And I just really always love the guidance that the mentors provide. And, it's almost, I don't want to say hand holding, but it's like really that supportive, like cheerleader buddy saying, yes, it is okay to adapt. It is okay to do it this way. It
Mhm.
is okay to try new things. So
Yeah, because there's
yeah,
always those one-off cases, those
yeah,
unique ones that you
those
never
outliers.
expected.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then they're not in the textbook. You don't
Yeah.
hear about them in school. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to see that people are able to put their own experiences together so we can work together as a group and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. And anything else you'd like to share with the people about the collective?
Um, hmm. Probably that the resources, the printed resources and checklist are a hidden gem. I use them all the time. I think they're
Awesome.
great. I think they really outline some therapy practices and different evaluations and what to do on a step-by-step basis just to make sure you're checking all your boxes, and you can never go wrong with having that as a support, especially if you're having a busy day and you want to make sure you're staying evidence-based and keeping on top of things.
Yep, yep. Yeah, so that is one of the things inside the collective is we do have, years and years and years of resources that, walk you through very specific, therapy techniques or evaluations. They are all blind peer reviewed. That is all in our resource library that we keep in there for you. Something new that we actually did this year too is we added on a gold tier membership. So what that does is you get actual texting access with a mentor. So obviously we have the Facebook group that people know and love, but sometimes some people just want even, a better way to just to not even a better way, but just a different way to talk to a mentor too. So we have text a mentor, and that's included in our gold level. And with that, you also get access to even more of those implementation boot camps and some more templates and resources like Anna Marie mentioned as well. So if you're interested in joining the collective, it's $34 a month, $349 a year, and that additional gold tier is an additional $20 a month. So thank you for mentioning that, Anna Marie. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
And thank you
Yeah,
for joining us tonight.
of course, happy to be here.
All right. And now I will bring on Michelle. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you so
Thanks for
much
having me here.
thank you for joining me tonight. So Michelle is another one of our newer mentors, which I'm so, so, so grateful. She's just, it's like one of those people that is just like, how did I not know this woman existed? How did I not know this brilliant human existed? And so we were looking for, we did a mentor call earlier this year that we were just looking for very, very, very specific type mentors. And we wanted ones that had really vast experience and really vast knowledge in specific topic areas. And Michelle just came highly recommended to us, and I could not be so honored and blessed to have you join us. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. I really enjoy it. It is an honor to have had, you reach out and being able to be a mentor. I really do, for me, my experience of 17 years as a clinician, I have worked in acute care, outpatient, inpatient rehab. I really have seen the continuum. I've spent many years in head and neck cancer. And so I do feel like I'm able to speak to a lot of the different areas. And, those questions, they still keep us all growing as clinicians as well. So I really do enjoy being a mentor as a part of the collective.
Yeah, awesome. Share a little bit about your topic areas that you know most about, Michelle.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, so I would say I'm quite an expert in many different areas. So head and neck cancer, because of that severity of deficit, a lot of dysphagia, a lot of motor speech, and a lot of voice, just kind of that interplay of the aerodigestive system. So I would say that is definitely within my wheelhouse of expertise. I spend a lot of time currently for the past 5 years working in an intensive program treating mild to moderate traumatic brain injury. So cognitive communication, I think an underlooked at area sometimes in our profession is social communication. How does a person start a conversation, keeping it going, thinking of the words that they want to say, organizing their thoughts, and maybe going from like, I've just shared some information to how do I connect to people I care about? And so, you know, so right now I really work a lot on cognitive communication, but also experience with aphasia and um, motor speech, tracheoesophageal prosthesis, total laryngectomy. So pretty much everything other than I'm not peds, not my wheelhouse. Skilled nursing facility have not worked there, and home care have not done that as well. But I think a lot of transferable skills to those
Yeah,
areas.
yeah, awesome. Awesome. Can you share a little bit, Michelle, maybe about a specific case or something or a member that had said something that really, stuck a chord with you or just is really memorable?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, what I really do love about the collective is you're not just like training a person how to do something. It really is this mentor experience. And so it's being able to collaborate, bounce ideas. Like I know as a clinician, as I'm being mentored or learning something, it gives me a space to like, how would I formulate my idea and then advance, go forward, right? So now when I have to be dynamic in a session, I'm going to feel more equipped for that. So I do love that about the collective. And I think for me, one of the things that stood out recently, it is a head and neck cancer patient. So, and it actually brought back for me a lot of memory. So sometimes a person would get a tracheoesophageal prosthesis or a puncture, like the surgeon would just put this in, and the patient maybe didn't have the ability to manage it, or they didn't have the finances to be able to afford another one. And I really appreciated a member who put in some comments. And I felt a little bit like a jerk because they wanted to DM, right? And they wanted to talk about it. But like, I feel that staying open and in the forum, it's really beneficial. And so being able to bounce ideas and think things through. So for me, it's a growing learning curve for me because I said no, which isn't like me to really set a boundary like that. But I think it's helpful. And, just a side note, one of my friends who also happens to be a member of the collective said that she read that string and it helped her in her like kind of new head and neck cancer practice. So, I don't know that we always recognize how many other people we're helping by asking these questions and maybe being a little bit vulnerable. But I think for me, that really just it stood out.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? We hear that a lot. Like we have some members will reach out to and, just do check-ins with members. We try to do them fairly often just to see if they need anything or if they're getting all their needs met. And what's so common is for people to say like, I've either never posted in the Facebook group or I've posted once or twice, but I just love reading. I learn so much from reading the strings, reading the threads, reading the conversations. And it's great, and a lot of I learn the same way. Sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that at all. Or like, holy cow, I didn't know that was like a thing. It's
Yeah.
cool, after, I've got, almost, 15 years of experience working in skilled nursing. And so it's really cool when I see something that I'm like, I had no idea about that. Like, so yeah, it's such a rich, robust learning environment, and I love people that really lean into it. And we all know that there's like you said, there's a factor of vulnerability that's involved in putting yourself out there. You are allowed to post anonymously. We very much understand and respect that. We understand work boundaries. We understand some people just have some convoluted work scenarios that they can't, have their name on there. So we do allow the anonymity. And then we also do have the gold tier where you can text a mentor as well. So yeah, thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate you saying that, because it's sometimes people, even we'll get questions emailed into us like, hey, can you help us over email? And we're like, if you could really put it in the group, I promise it'll be worth it. And
Yeah.
and we do understand it can be tough. But I also, as Anna Marie said too, there's just nothing like our Facebook group out there for medical SLPs. There is, I assure you, I promise you, there is absolutely zero judgment when people post a question. And, I would say 95% of the time, most of us behind the scenes are like, oh my gosh, that was such a good question to ask. Or, that was such a great case. I'm so glad that member came to us. We are just so supportive in that we've all been there. Like, we've all had patients in front of us that we just don't even know where to start. We've all been in clinical situations that it's like, I think it should go this way and it's going horribly wrong. And so what do I do now? And it's also, sometimes it's like, I think I did everything that I could do and I just don't know where to go from here. And we've all been there. So that's, really why we have such a strong team of mentors that have very strong core values in what we believe in, and that we want to be growth minded. We want to help you as a mentor or as a member learn and grow. And we're all just really vested in your patients, and we want you to help your patients get better, because that's why they came to you. So yeah, thank you, Michelle. Anything else you'd like to share?
I think that the demo and discuss, I think that they're so phenomenal. I love
Yeah.
attending them. I love the few that I've been able to do. I think it's such a great way to engage and show a strategy, a technique, and then really being able to put it into practice. So I appreciate that's something that you're doing and offering, and it's been really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, awesome. So I will share that, like I said, all of our demo and discusses and the implementation hours, and obviously the clinical simulations, because they are online, they are all recorded. So you can catch them at any time. We don't ever want people to feel overwhelmed or like they have to attend tons of calls. They are in there. They are under their own topic area. So if you are wanting to look at all of the resources or videos we have on voice, and there's a voice demo and discuss, those will be in there. So we try to make sure that everything is recorded so that you can access it at your convenience, basically mostly for time, but also just because sometimes you may not have a patient that interests you at that time. And then when you need the information, you really need the information. So I think it's one of my favorite things to hear from members is like, oh my gosh, I had this patient with this type of condition. I had no idea what to do. I went into the collective and searched it, and I found all of these resources about it. And so that's really what we want to be. We just want to be that support system that just, helps you. We're here for you. We want you to learn and grow, and we're here to support you. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Michelle.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us tonight. So like I said, open enrollment is open through tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. We've got some amazing bonuses if you join by tomorrow as well. The collective is $34 a month or $349 a year. And we also have our student rate that is $19. We would love to have you join us. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can always DM me or you can email into support@medslpcollective.com. We also have our 14-day no questions. No, it is not 14 days. It is 7 days. It is 7 days, no questions asked, money back guarantee. So if you do join the collective and you realize that there's nothing in there for you, which I can't imagine anyone ever saying that, but if you join us and it's not your vibe, totally fine. And also if you join as a monthly member, if you join us for a few months, we'd love to have you for a few months. And if you decide your time is up, it's very, very easy to cancel. So we have plenty of members that come join us for a few months and then leave and then come back the next year to get their CEUs. And it really doesn't matter to us how you use the collective. We just want to be here to support you. So again, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. And again, if there's any questions, I'm always happy to answer them and would love to see you inside the collective.